How's it going, everybody? Thanks for stopping in. Today we're going to be looking at Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast is talking about the educational system, how we teach our kids stuff, and he has a problem with it. So let's see what he has to say.
Education. Why is it that your parents got taught the same way in school that your kids are getting taught? Well, think of how much everything.
Well, Trump is in the process of getting rid of the Department of Education, so things might be changing state to state. If you go to like the Bible Belt, they're not going to be teaching evolution. They're going to be teaching creationism, some shit like that.
Is advanced, but I was in school. What, I'm 27, 9 years ago. A teacher would just stand there, read out of a book, write on a whiteboard wall. Look at Mark Rober's videos. Look at all this amazing.
I'm not saying that he's wrong, that standard education can be pretty boring, and we should revamp things and have new ideas. But I don't necessarily think the ideas that Mr. Beast has is the right way to go about it.
Seeing educational content where you learn such great.
He's talking about Mark Rober, that science guy, where he does experiments online. He's done something with that like devil's toothpaste stuff where it shoots up in the air. He's done a bunch of different stuff. He's a good watch, and he's very informative, but I don't think that's like a supplement for an actual education.
Or like such complex topics in like 20 minutes, and it's really engaging and fun, and you retain it. And look at what we.
That's the thing, though. I don't necessarily retain it. I've watched a lot of Mark Rober videos, and besides like the toothpaste thing where it shoots up in the sky, I can't necessarily say that I remember a lot of stuff that he did. Maybe like he shot a gun underwater, or I can't. Oh, I know about his glitter bomb ones. I don't necessarily know what I learned in the glitter bomb episodes, but I do know that he would set out packages on the front porch. People would steal them, and then he would set off a glitter bomb like in their house, which would be really, really frustrating to clean up. I absolutely hate glitter.
Subject our kids to just like listening to a teacher read out of a book in the most boring way imaginable. Just because that's what our people, our parents did, doesn't mean that's what we need to subject ourselves to. It makes no sense to me. I think education should be reformed dramatically.
So in Mr. Beast's school, we would just be watching YouTube videos. You just look up YouTube videos, you just play those in the classroom, and that's it. Education done.
I graduated from school thinking books suck and books are boring and I never read a book. But in reality, they were just giving me shitty books that I hate. And I love actually listening to audiobooks. I love
listening to audiobooks is not reading. It's completely different. You don't retain information in the same way when you actually read something on a page. Listening to an audiobook is not the same thing as reading. But listening to audiobooks isn't a bad source of getting information. It's just not necessarily the same as reading. And yeah, they did give you books that were mandatory, but also you could go to the library and pick out any book that you wanted to. I remember those Scholastic books. You would come around like every year, and you would go in and get new books, like get Goosebumps and different things like that. I loved the Goosebumps series, and I remember buying Captain Underpants and different types of books, so you can get anything you wanted to read back then. They weren't forcing you to not expand your horizons.
Goal, and I loved Walter Isaacson's biography on Steve Jobs and Elon Musk and blah blah. But the problem is just every book they gave me in school was terrible. And I'm also a very visual learner, and I retain information at least 3 times more effectively when I see a visual of it as opposed to just hearing it or whatever. And so it's for just a lot of kids, I don't know. I just think education.
Well, that's partially the reason that you retain more when you're reading it is because you're visually seeing it and you're actually matching the words, matching the sound of the words to the word itself. So you retain more information that way than just listening to something, because you're only hearing the sound of the words, and you can understand them, of course, but to actually understand the words and then put the sound to the word is a much more effective way.
Is just silly. It's stupid. And with how much time they spend in it. If you actually had real courses, made through videos, and we actually made things more hands-on, and we just actually optimize these things with modern technology, they could probably learn things in way less than 8 hours a day. You could probably learn more knowledge in 5 hours a day and give so much freedom back to kids in their youth to do things.
Yeah, I don't know though. He was saying you could learn complex issues in 20 minutes. It depends on what you're talking about. If you're just talking about a simple concept of things that are in motion stay in motion. You know, you can understand that concept probably within 20 minutes, but you're not necessarily going to understand the complete complexity of it. And you're definitely not going to learn something like calculus in a 20-minute video. So, where maybe he's right that we need to approach things in a new way, and I'm not entirely against making informative videos, but I think if we're going to do the informative videos part, like he was saying, you also need another layer of having hands-on curriculum. So you're watching like a video and maybe you're following along doing something simultaneously. And it wouldn't be a terrible idea to get like popular celebrities or at least, you know, educational YouTubers to make some types of curriculum for classes. You know, it wouldn't be a terrible idea. But I just think it's a little funny, like the richest YouTuber ever is talking about how we should completely do away with standard education and replace it with basically MrBeast videos. 20-minute long, short, quippy, you know, easy to digest videos that you'll retain. I don't know. Seems too good to be true, maybe. And that seems to be a solution to everything. Make YouTube videos.